Good afternoon, Professor Love. I will explain about feminist methodologies, which was the fourth assignment for our course, historical and anthropological perspective of religion. So this chapter, Mary Jo Nates is the one who is gonna explain. So she starts with the role of the woman in society, and it says that there there are no historians, psychologists, sociology researchers use feminist methodology. There are three positions in this chapter, but she's going to focus on the feminist standpoint. She explains that there are the epistemological and ontological question, like feminist empiricist, feminist standpoint, and the radical construction. As I said, we're going to focus on feminist standpoint. What does he say, feminist standpoint epistemologies? That all knowledge is partial and located. The idea of a privileged position of women also declares the analysis of the intersectional matrices of oppression. What is this? What is the methodology? What is the feminist methodology for critical researchers? She's a quantitative researcher, Joyce Bragg, because her feminist standpoint analyzes the social and physical location of an individual world is the way he or she understands things. That is why many people differentiate location, have different tools understanding for one society. Reflexivity, it's a key issue for a researcher who wants their own interests and the interests of one subject. Prague works of the disadvantaged rather than for those in power. In this case, will be the woman who is in disadvantage, according in concern to men. So she asks social researchers to ground interpersonal interest in spirits, create knowledge that empowers the disadvantaged. So it means that the woman has to have the knowledge so that she can have the same power as the man has. As Prager makes a clear distinction about the power dynamics between the researcher and the research, she refers the feminist standpoints about location and not subjectivity. She involves also community groups, discards starting up with experience of people and bottom hierarchies rather than those on the top and learning to pay attention to what is missing. So she explains the hierarchies, how it is. The standpoint theory of Hartog and Smith. Political theorist Nancy Hartog and the socialist Dorothy Smith observed a contradiction between experiences as knowers in the women's movement, using the tool of historical materialism to develop what she called a feminist standpoint. Smith offered a way to understand social organization and the relation of ruling. Both of them, absolutely, they're familiar with the knowledge of Marxism, so they are not really religious persons at all. The postmodernism. In 1980, the new movement identity blew in North America and Western Europe and claimed that there was no universal woman and therefore there couldn't be a feminist standpoint of woman. Patricia Hill Collins maintains the feminist standpoint as the product of group-based experience and it's a tool to describing how a dominant group maintains their power in part through control over culture and knowledge production. In this way, they are talking about men, how they control all the system, and also gives an example the black feminist standpoint generated of black women and their thoughts can be used. For example, these women can use their thoughts in blues singers, storytellers, novelists, and other intellectuals and receive dominant knowledge to receive in this way men's knowledge. The researcher or writer of the third world country found that these theories could be a useful methodology for decolonization so that women can break the oppression and post-colonial social organization. Yes, there are many writers in South America and third world country, and they also write about the feminist how they have been abused, controlled by men. The feminist standpoint theories propose a kind of double reflexivity, which means that the researcher is also the researcher process and not standing outside of it. In fact, the communities are the ones who produce knowledge and not individuals. The truest difference is course. Implication for the study of religion. What does power have to do with it? The feminist standpoint provides a way to think about power, which is always relational and processual. Smith conceptualization of the relation of ruling captures this idea of power structure, where researchers cannot be neutral and objective in studying the relation of power. This problem of neutrality in the Western movement toward various forms of separation of the church and state and the process of secularization is so strong that any religion scholars have the right to influence the society. As a matter of fact, they are forced to distance themselves from belief, values, and feelings into research without themselves. In fact, they have to support the secular powers that exist against religion. So no researchers have any influence, or they cannot even themselves reveal what they feel and what they believe, because the neutrality makes them go away from their point of view. The feminist standpoint epistemology helps religious scholars to think and reflect about the history and religion, and we can see that even though the feminist standpoint doesn't dictate a critical method of epistemology, they change the research process of every step. Yes. Here we see of a church, a picture, sorry, of the church, and that will be wrong. Yes, this is not neutral, so this is wrong for the secularization standpoint of women. Me Too Revolution campaign. Yes, that was probably one of the main points for our assignment. That what was the Me Too Revolution campaign? Was created by Tarana Burke 13 years ago and the co-founder lawyer Roberta Kaplan, and they too evolved this revolution or campaign movement, and it has been how do you say that? It has been um, um, split in different parts of the world. This was accompanied with many artists of Los Angeles, New York, who helped to rewrite laws, regulation, and protection for all these offenses with women. So the Me Too is Kaplan's firm that's located in Park State. The lawyer, so she has a big enterprise with this, and she hailed changes made in the last year by industries and states government. According to the feminist standpoint epistemology, the Me Too revolution is about the women who were abused by men in work in different institutions, such as church as well. So this revolution is because women was the group that was disadvantaged, the disadvantaged group in different countries, and because of the disadvantage, they come to the power to change this, and they establish new laws, regulation, and protection will cause that men won't have the right of defense against women. The Me Too movement is a way dangerous for me, especially, and it's dangerous for men because at the end they will be in disadvantage. The men will be the disadvantaged group and will be oppressed by women in different locations of the world. That's what I think. For example, I have example, and here is um it's a picture, and I will stop in very quote. It says a woman. It says the future is female, and here I can give you this. I don't have any time to actually to film, record the word. Franken, who is a Democrat senator. I think I finished as well. I don't know. I think I finished. I cannot talk anymore. Sorry.